Members of the board and community, it's a pleasure to stand here before you this evening for what we're going to embark on in a few minutes here. But I want to start with this. About 2 weeks ago, we had Soundfest. We hold it here annually, and this year there were roughly 20 bands here. I got the chills that evening, number one, because it was very cold, but number two, because we also had the Newtown band here from Connecticut. And if you remember, that's the town, the school district where there was the shootings. And, you know, unfortunately, in public education over the past few years, we've seen many senseless situations where students and teachers and administrators have been injured or killed in situations. And what we do at that time is we paint a picture of them as heroes. And they truly are heroes. Many of them risked their lives to save others. And I applaud them. And I would never, ever take anything away from them or their families. But day to day, we have what I'll call heroes in our public school systems all across the country, and especially here in the Nazareth Area School District. Now, we may use the word heroes, or we may use the word leaders, or whatever you'd like to call them, but they truly have touched the lives of other individuals. And board members, I cannot thank you enough for supporting this initiative that we're going to start this evening with I Touch the Future Awards. And this evening we have 3 wonderful recipients. We went through a process where nominations were submitted to my office. At that time we had school board members review the nominations, we had administrators review the nominations, and we had students, specifically students from the high school student government, review the nominations, and we tallied the scores. And tonight we have our first 3 exceptional examples of individuals that have touched the lives of others, who have given countless hours away from their family and friends to do what needs to be done to move this educational system, Nazareth Area School District system, forward. And I cannot be happier as the superintendent of the Nazareth Area School District to do this tonight. So board members, thank you for supporting this. I think you're almost as excited as I am to be here tonight to do this. So we're going to have Ms. Resende come up, and she's going to read the nomination for the first recipient of our award.
Thank you, Dr. Riker. I have the pleasure of reading the nomination for Mr. Alan G. Miller. Dear Dr. Riker and the selection committee, I would like to respectfully nominate my father, Alan G. Miller, for recognition through the district's new I Touch the Future program. My father enjoyed a 35-year career with the Nazareth Area School District at the high school and middle school. He was dual certified in secondary English and social studies, teaching American culture, history, reading, English, and dramatic arts over the course of his career. In addition, my father taught Intro to Audiovisual, and created a study skills course that was required for all sophomore students. He also developed Nazareth's first SAT preparation course. Years after, my dad specifically requested to teach remedial students for his English, reading, and history classes, students that were typically labeled slow or troublemakers by others. My dad saw hidden potential within those students, and he refused to let them give up on themselves. He employed a unique classroom approach that never talked down to his students. Instead, he raised them up to the next level by using his own personally created teaching aids, puzzles he designed, his sense of humor, and constant stream of encouragement. Nothing about my dad's classes were standardized. He had a file cabinet with multiple lesson plans he created for each section so that he could tailor his approach to the individual classes. I've had the pleasure of meeting some of my dad's former students, a surprising number of whom even took the time to come to his funeral. Each of them told me a similar story. They were frustrated with school and didn't care anymore by the time they reached his class. They spoke of my dad's patient, and how he believed in them, showing them that they were capable of much more than they had thought, and helping them improve. In addition to teaching, over the course of his career, my father was the advisor for student council, drama club, stage crew, and was the classes advisor for multiple sophomore, junior, and senior classes. He also coached the scholastic scrimmage team to a championship, managed the school store, and worked with the high school band. Further, my dad maintained and distributed all audiovisual equipment at the high school, was director of school supplies, and served as a longtime negotiator for the Nazareth Area Education Association. My father was assistant coach to the track team when they won their first league championship in 29 years in 1966, and the newly dedicated Andrew S. Lay Stadium. The following year, he was the head coach of the team with Ray Nunemaker as his assistant coach. When they won the championship again, he also served as assistant director of athletics and assistant director to the marching band. One of my father's most enduring legacies was his work to establish the Channel One partnership with the school district in late 1989. His negotiations with Whittle Communications, who produced Channel One, garnered Nazareth free televisions installed in every classroom, free satellite dishes mounted on the school's roof, and morning newscasts broadcasted to all students, beginning in March of 1990. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate your consideration. My father for recognition. So, Mr. Miller, if you'd like to say a few words, or Mrs. Miller? No?
Yep.
Yes.
You wanted me to bring the picture?
Yeah, would you like to say a few words?
That's the first that I heard that. It's going to be very difficult for me to say anything. The only thing that Ben left out, I think Alan opened a school every morning when he came because he always left the house by 6 o'clock. And I asked him, couldn't they open the door without him? That's the only thing. I don't know. I really do think he opened the doors. But he loved Nazareth, and he loved teaching because he could have retired earlier, and said he wasn't ready because he really just enjoyed the kids and he enjoyed getting through to them. So thank you very much. That's all I can say, and he would thank you very much too. Okay. This goes in here? Okay, I don't know how to get a picture of that. Okay.
And we do have this evening, in addition to Mrs. Miller, their two sons are here, and their families also with them. So thank you for being here. Mrs. Rishkoff is going to read to us the second nomination for the recipient this evening. Ms. Rishkoff.
Thank you, Dr. Riker. The next I Touch the Future award is for Cathy Haller, and the nomination was presented by Celia M. Zuba, science teacher in the school district. In her nomination, she writes, "This letter is a nomination for the I Touch the Future award in support of Cathy Haller, a retired Schaefer Elementary School kindergarten teacher. Even after retirement, she always seems to find ways to touch the lives of children, staff, administrators, and the community of Nazareth. As soon as I began teaching in the Nazareth Area School District in 1988, it was Cathy Haller whose voice I heard daily, greeting everyone in the hall so enthusiastically. It was obvious how much she enjoyed working with children and sharing ideas with staff and parents. Her energy for education was contagious. She joined committees at school, worked with students diligently, and was an active member at PTA meetings. Instead of going home and relaxing after school on cold winter days, she supervised the student ski club. I had never seen anything other than a smile on her face, even on the busiest of days. Working with Cathy, I was amazed at how many hats she put on, both inside and outside of school, benefiting children in the community in a variety of ways. She continues to involve students in positive learning experiences, presents them with opportunities, and shares her kindness. Teaching at the middle school currently, I'll run into Cathy organizing some type of activity for our students at the school. Cathy is a role model for everyone, especially our youth. She involves students in Kiwanis K-Kids, helps with Builders Club, sports and participates in Relay for Life for Cancer, and participated on the Nazareth Area School District Advisory Board. I was able to observe Cathy as a girls' tennis coach and watched her instill in her players a love for the game and appreciation in this lifelong sport. The team knew she cared about them, and Coach Heller had a way to correct without criticism. After working with her team all week, she would run tennis clinics for children of all ages to help them learn the game as well. Whether it be a high school band competition, a sporting event, a Nazareth community function, or anything that supports children, learning, or positive community outreach, Cathy seems to always show up and be helping in some way. I feel that Cathy has been a gift, not only to her students, but to the entire community in Nazareth. I've been teaching for 30 years, and I can honestly say without question, I have never met anyone who is more engaged and positively touching the future of so many people in so many ways as Cathy Heller. I strongly recommend her to receive this award and honor.
Cathy, would you like to say a
yes.
few
I
words?
would like to
A few
say-
words. A few words.
Yes, a few words. I'm just going to put this down. I must say, I'm very humbled to have received this honor. But from the time I was a little girl, I grew up in a home where my parents were very loving and caring and sharing parents. They instilled in my brother and I the concept of giving back your time, your talents, and your substance to others. So I grew up in a home understanding that concept, and I thought, as I watched my parents go to community things, boy, when I grow up, I'm going to be just like my mom and dad. So I try to do that, but in all, I have fun doing it. I must say, I was blessed also to have been hired in the Nazareth Area School District and taught here for 35 years. I think of Philip Phillips's song Home, and it rings loud and clear to me because I am very proud to call the Nazareth Area School District and community my home. It's done so much for me, and I've been blessed in another way to have wonderful friends. And my best friend in life, Maury Heller, I couldn't do half of what I do for everybody if it wouldn't be for Maury. You just don't understand. He is so supportive. I come home and I have these ideas, and he's there, yeah, okay. He said to me when I took over tennis, he said, and how much, honey, is this going to take? 2 months. And then I thought, you know what? I'm getting really a nice position here. And I said, you know what? I think I could do year-round tennis. So that's what I got myself into. So my husband said 2 months goes to year-round tennis. But, I mean, you know what? If I can instill in children the joy and the love that I have for the sports of tennis and skiing, so be it. So as long as God gives me the energy to do it, I will continue doing it, and I have fun doing it. And the other thing is, besides the support my husband gave me, Barb Van Buskirk got me really oriented into the year-round tennis and showing me how to do a community tennis association. So that's great. And there's one other woman in my life. I had her daughter in kindergarten, Judy Bohart. She has been side by side with me through Interact clubs that I am doing, with Builders Club, with K-Kids. So I just feel so blessed. And I feel blessed by everybody in this room, because in some way, all of you have touched my life. I had Alan Miller as a teacher when I was in high school. And I just remembered in the home room that I had the year, Mr. Butts, you were down at Lower Nazareth part-time, and I was at Bushkill part-time, and I had a very interesting home room, didn't I? I just want you to know that. And then all the other people that are sitting here, April and Joe Selim-Perry and Mark and Greg and Joe, Yannick. I mean, without your support, I just couldn't do these things. And Nazareth is so fortunate that you open to volunteers to come in. So I thank you again for this award. It's very, very
Thanks for those few words, Cathy. And just for the record, Cathy looked at me when she said she was hired here. I did not hire Cathy. As a teacher, I did hire her as a tennis coach, but not as a teacher.
But I had Mr. Butts.
Okay, all right. We're not going to, no history lessons this evening. All right, Ms. Grube is going to read the nomination for our third presentation and recipient tonight. Ms. Grube.
It gives me great pleasure to read this letter on behalf of Miss Bernadine Rishcroft for Mr. Marr. Dear Dr. Riker, it is my honor to nominate Thomas K. Marr, Jr., CPA, for the I Touch the Future Recognition Award. Mr. Marr served on the Nazareth School District Board of Education as a director and treasurer for 12 years, from 1999 to 2011. Mr. Marr was elected to the board at the time when the district faced many educational and financial challenges. Foremost among these were the uncertainties in the area of long-term fiscal planning. Under his guidance as chairman, the Audit and Finance Committee began working towards the district's future stability and financial health. His advocacy for long-term thinking extended beyond finance. Curriculum, technology, and facilities all benefited from his vision. To build and preserve community trust and the district integrity, Mr. Marr challenged us to conduct the board business with maximum transparency. He challenged us to critically analyze issues. He challenged us to always act in the best interest of students. He balanced the burden of taxpayers against the need to prepare our students not only to succeed in the world, but to better it. Thanks to his dedication, drive, and perseverance, Nazareth Area School District is among the best in Pennsylvania. I have grown personally and professionally, this is Vernon speaking now, because of Mr. Marr. He helped me to become more knowledgeable administrator and a stronger leader. I have the utmost respect for him because of his very committed to this district. He volunteered thousands of hours to Nazareth, and he had the highest level of ethics and integrity. He believed strongly in fiscal responsibility, planning, and open communication. He fought for his beliefs, even if he was the only no vote. Thomas K. Marr, Jr. graduated from Marquette University and earned a master's degree in business administration from the University of Evansville. He was a U.S. Army veteran, a certified public accountant, and employed by the financial controller of Sensic Technology. The father of 3 Nazareth Area High School graduates, he freely shared his education, experience, and the value to make Nazareth a better place to work, to learn, and to live. His ultimate untimely passing is a tremendous loss. Sincerely, Bernadine C. Rishcroft, Business Administrator. Okay. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Tom was devoted to financial management, as you know. And anytime you vote on anything financial related, please hear his voice. You probably do anyway. He wanted to make this world a better place, and starting at home, I guess. So, Dan, do you have anything?
My father always instilled in me and my brothers the value of doing what's right, even when it's not the easy choice. Even when the world around you is telling you, no, go with the easy choice. He taught us to still question things and to do what's right, even when it would sometimes hurt us. And so that's something that I always carry through with me to this day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I will tell you that Ms. Rishkoff and I both chickened out on reading that nomination because we weren't sure if we'd be able to get through it. So we made Marge read it tonight. But again, I want to congratulate all three of our recipients this year and thank the board for their support in this wonderful program. And obviously all three of these recipients touched our lives and futures here in the Nazareth School District. So again, congratulations and thank you.